Is there any truth in the theory that men's and women's brains are different? Are men and women born with distinct skills and abilities? These are questions that have long fascinated scientists and the general public alike. Some commonly held beliefs are that men are better at maths and doing visual spatial tasks like parking a car, while women are often thought to be more empathetic than men and better at multitasking.
Women are more sympathetic, I think, and empathetic, and men are probably more practical.
I'm pretty useless when it comes to doing more than one thing.
But are these differences real? And if so, is there a biological basis for them? Research by the University of Pennsylvania in the USA seemed to have established that there were indeed differences between how male and female brains work. Researchers imaged the brains of 428 male and 521 female students. The scans consistently showed that in male brains there was more activity between the front and the back of each hemisphere, suggesting better perception, learning, and focus on a single task. Female brains showed more activity between the two hemispheres, suggesting superior social skills, memory, and multitasking. The evidence from the study is persuasive because of the large sample size involved. However, are these ideas supported by studies that have looked at actual differences in ability? One study that supports at least part of this hypothesis was conducted at the University of Hertfordshire in England.
What we're asking you to do is a multitasking experiment.
The participants had 8 minutes to do several tasks at the same time: simple maths problems, map reading, dealing with a telephone caller asking general knowledge questions, and showing the strategy they would use to search for a lost key. The results suggested that women fare better when switching rapidly between tasks. In particular, women were far better than men at planning strategy while multitasking. Researchers at the university think the findings have significant implications.
There are more similarities between men and women than there are differences, but there are differences. And sometimes those differences appear to be quite small, but I suspect that even quite small differences can pan out to create quite major differences in behaviour.
The design of the experiment aimed to improve on others that have previously investigated such differences. However, for many in the field, the jury will still be out, as there is a huge body of work which has found no difference in multitasking ability between men and women. Many people are also skeptical as to whether the differences established in the University of Pennsylvania study are real. The students who participated in the brain imaging study were still in the late stages of puberty, a time at which hormones are highly active. This could mean the differences they found may not be lifelong. Even if these differences are real, it's very difficult to know whether they are biologically or culturally imposed. The human brain is a learning machine that adapts to our individual circumstances throughout our lifetimes. We can't prove that physiological differences in the brain or differences in ability are not caused by differences in parenting or environment. A case in point is mathematical ability. Women were once thought to be born with a weaker ability in maths. In truth, generations of women were actively discouraged from pursuing mathematics at school at that time. Today, women are known to have just as much mathematical talent as men. We also can't prove that biological differences are responsible for gender differences in performance. For many years, the smaller brain size of women was suggested to be significant, but tests have shown that it is not. The brain is truly the final frontier of human biology. There is still so much we don't know about the way it works. Despite huge resources put into studying gender differences, most find no significant differences between males and females. Perhaps the real question is, why are we so intrigued by gender differences?